Jesus.
What do you want me to do? I got some phlegm. What is good? Ramondre! No. Yes! Touchdown, Ramondre Stevenson. Let's go. Zappy's in, Max on the bench. It's Monday Night Football. Bum, 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 bum.
Hot.
Let's go. We're fired up.
You gotta back away from the mic if you're gonna scream like a little girl.
I did.
You lean into it.
It's a Berman. It's not a little girl.
Yeah.
That's a grown man.
Yeah, don't
He
don't
said
make
what?
fun of the boomers.
That guy's
didn't
probably
say
drank
it.
more whiskey than you've ever seen.
The Raiders.
Yeah. What's good, y'all? We're back. We're wrapping up week 7 here. Where are we at? Is that where we're at?
That's where we are.
I never know where we are.
Shouldn't end a sentence with a preposition. Check spreadsheet. Kenneth Walker's no good because he doesn't catch passes.
That's a fact. But Zappy in, Mac out. What does it mean? What does it mean?
Means Billy's not taking no shit.
It's Bailey.
Billy
Well,
B.
Billy Belichick.
Oh,
Billy B.
not Bailey Z.
So is this
Zane?
the end of Max?
It could
the
be.
Mac era?
It could be.
No.
You don't think so?
It's not the end.
It's not the end of the Mac era in Patriot Town?
I would have said Beantown, but
Beantown's probably a better town.
They're trying to win.
It's where DJ
Yeah,
Moore's from.
where?
Mac's been hurt. I'm
Not this week.
surprised they even played him. Like, Zappy's been on a roll. Mac's hurt. Why even force it if you're going to just bench him as soon as he throws a pick?
Short leash.
Seems premature.
Short leash.
Sure.
That ends in an E. Doesn't really work.
So, Colts calling for Mac Jones?
No, he's too young.
He's too young. Like
You
I'm
got to
old.
be at least 33.
I'll leave it at that.
Our guy, Mr. Chris, he's a big Pats fan. He said Zappy into tight window coverage, 1.9% of his throws. Mac Jones, 20% of his throws into tight coverage. The
Full-
Zappy effect is in full effect. It's not going to be above Bill Belichick to just bench the first rounder for the fourth rounder if he's
I
playing
mean,
better.
we're talking about FBS single season yards and touchdown record holder Bailey Zapp.
King of the Hilltoppers.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's been playing well. It's
to Jason's point, it does seem weird if you're just going to let him throw one pick and then. I mean, granted, he threw a pick and had 2-3 and outs, but
the proof's in the pudding right there. I mean, it's on the screen.
The roof is also in the pudding.
the pudding pops.
You know, Mac Jones, not great. Bailey Jones or Bailey Zappy, great tonight. You know, comes in, gives him a spark.
Oh
He's
yeah.
on fuego.
You know, what's interesting is, the Patriots,
I mean, granted, Jacoby Myers was wide open on that touchdown,
sure. And, good throw to Ramondre.
and a great, and then
the
good throw
good-
catch by Parker.
Great catch by Parker, gave him a chance to go up and climb the ladder. But, the Patriots are known for kind of sort of playing that preseason in September, figuring out who can do what,
Yeah.
who to play, what to do, what they're good at, what they're not good at, and obviously Mac's been out and Zappy, maybe getting the benefit of that, hey, we've kind of figured things out a little bit. We're a little bit better integrated into what's going on with them, whereas Mac Jones lost everything, all the continuity that he had, and they were still in their kind of struggles, and now Zappy's here. So it will be very interesting. This was interesting that the leash was so short on this game.
I mean, we also do have offensive genius Matt Patricia
No,
calling
for sure.
plays.
For sure. He's a rocket scientist. So
Also surgeon.
is there interest? I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago, but what are we doing with Zappy? If you could get a second for Zappy right now, are you doing, or do you just hold tight?
I mean, I'm going to do what
obviously you're talking Superflex, right?
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm trading quarterbacks, it's not in a 1 QB.
I don't even want to hear about your quarterback situation in a 1 QB league.
Just verifying for the listeners out there.
I'm going to do what I do every time, I guess, and just hold until they die on my bench.
Yeah, and I think this is basically
the backup quarterback. You
the
can
same
flip for a
conversation-
second.
the same conversation we had before. Is a lot of the times, I'm saying flash in the pan kind of guy, lower pick kind of guy. More than likely you should move off of him if you can.
So, I think for a second I'm probably holding on, but that first I'm probably moving on.
I don't think we're there yet.
People could be getting spicy.
Yeah. If you're the Mac Jones owner, you drafted Mac Jones in the 5th round of your startup this year.
Yeah.
What
Matt
do you do? Wouldn't give for
Would
a
you-
23
would
first
you
is a
then-
much shorter list.
Would you trade your second for Zappy if you had Mac Jones?
Depends on my other quarterback situation.
It's bad. I follow too closely. Man, I don't know. Mac Jones probably not who you're like depending on, right? So you probably don't.
Well, if you drafted him in the 5th round, you were absolutely depending on
Who's
him being your
drafting
QB.
him in the 5th round?
In a super flex, that's about where he was going. 5th,
Blah.
6th round.
Hold, please.
I mean, it was all over the place. It depended on the league
did,
that you're
but
in
I mean,
and
you know.
how heavy quarterbacks were going. I never once took Mac Jones that near that high in a super flex mock that we did or a real draft that we did. So he was like the last of a starting quarterback that you felt kind of young dynasty wise about. I don't know that I'd jump the gun and sell a 2 for Zappy right now.
I'd consider it.
I think I'd
It's
consider
very
it too.
recency biasy.
That's fine.
Seems at least you're locking up a quarterback though, right?
Yeah. Especially if you're the Mac Jones owner.
The worst case scenario, Mac goes somewhere else and Zappy's the starter.
Yeah.
If you got,
I don't love it. It
You gotta be
stinks.
winning.
It hurts. It stings.
Yeah. For
Can't
sure.
stop once you started. It
But-
stings. You better be winning. You better be doing pretty well right now.
I mean, I don't think you're just.
But if you're the Mac Jones owner, you're probably not winning.
Well, then I'm not moving my 2. I'm gonna just
Unless you drafted, a decent third. So
gotta find a good third. It's tough.
you got to be out of town. All right. So the other big
Words of wisdom from Casey Myers. Shower thoughts.
shower thoughts for sure. Things me and my wife have discussed.
Gotta be out of town. You
Can't-
heard it here, kids.
Can't be in town.
That's hilarious.
Gotta go.
I mean, in September, Mac Jones was going off at the ADP of 38.
That's not real.
It was real though. I mean,
I'm just telling you what
every
the-
draft, a lot of the mocks that we did, there'd be a couple that he
Idiots.
hangs around, but I mean, it was early-ish picks that you were taking him.
He was also the first person drafted with the surname Jones.
I mean, a lot of people took Justin Fields super early. I mean, these are the choices that you were left with after a certain point, and
Yeah.
Mac wasn't absolutely terrible last year. He actually had some really good stretches, but. Anyway. All right. So obviously the next big news on the docket today, J-Rob just recently traded to the Jets. How do we, which side do you want to start on there?
I mean, if you were listening to us for the last couple weeks, I mean, you've already acquired Travis Etienne and you're super happy.
Is he a sell high right now?
No.
Negative. That boy-
Negative Ghost
Can we
Rider.
quote tweet that thing and be like, this did not age well? We're not big quote tweeters.
So so now we're just presuming that ET is the guy in Jacksonville?
I mean,
What do
it's
you mean
not Jermichael.
presuming? It already
It's not
was.
presuming anything. He played 80% of the snaps this past week.
I don't even think J-Rob got a single carry.
He didn't get any carries. He had 0 fantasy points this past week.
0 carries. They were.
Yep.
I guess they
He
were
had
probably
one-
about to
He
sell
had
him.
1 target and 0 carries.
That was probably about to let's not hurt this guy because we can sell him. No, but Breece was playing later in the day, so that wasn't even a plan. I guess they could have been preparing to shop J-Rob. That was kind of
Yes,
like
correct. Could have been.
yeah. So they
I
probably
would doubt that. I mean,
rather than showcase him, they prevented injury to sell him. But
I don't.
But regardless, ETN was getting
yes,
shifted the work in his favor.
Correct.
And then looked fucking awesome.
he looked good. He almost had 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
They fumbled.
that
They fumbled.
so bad. That's part of them giving that game away. But
Yeah.
every week the Giants get the game given to them.
I mean, they just don't lose the game. That's the whole thing.
they just
they're a well coached team.
every week it's everybody who's playing the Giants, so they just gave that game away, and it's like, well, I mean, eventually it becomes a theme that the Giants are just doing what it takes to win the game.
Exactly.
it could have been a fluke, but I think it's just a well coached team right now. Now, are they going to probably make much noise? No, but I mean, nobody wants to see the Giants right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
And Wan'Dale was very good in that first half, and 8 targets, 6 receptions, 50 yards. I believe that was all first half.
Wan'Dale was looking
awesome,
twitchy and phenomenal, and then he got crunched.
I thought
didn't see a lot more from him.
I thought it was a dick shot at first, the way
he got
looked,
bent,
but
it was like if you took this can and you crunched it. It was like,
he's all right, because
he was back out there.
Yeah,
at first I was like, I didn't see him for a minute.
Didn't look wasn't getting the looks like before when he was in that first half. Was just everywhere for them, doing work, which is exactly kind of what you and I talked about last week, doing the rookie profile with Wan'Dale there.
Speaking of rookie profiles, did you see how bad the Bellinger got hit in the face?
Oh, I didn't.
He got crumpled.
I didn't see it.
Didn't look like that much.
Oh,
I
just caught
shot
him
inside of the.
Yeah, they said he broke his eye socket. Said he broke his eye socket and his septum.
Out indefinitely.
Looked like some Game of Thrones shit out there.
All right, so where does this do for the ETN value then? How much does it now cost to get ETN?
I think he's probably back where he's probably back where he was preseason.
Yeah, that's probably
like
fair.
a 3rd round startup pick.
Yeah.
Which it's not cheap.
And it's all ticked up usage efficiency for the last couple.
And he's looked good.
And he's starting.
After that fumble, he did come back with a vengeance. And
yeah,
I missed. Did he have like a 49-yard rush or something?
It was 50.
I missed that. I was trying to put the stupid kid to sleep, and then come back, and half the 3rd quarter is gone.
So so we're presuming, hopefully, we want 20 touches, regardless of how they are for ETN moving. We would like to see 16 and 4, or
I mean, I'd love to see 10 and 10. If we're being honest, I want to see.
You don't even need 20 from my man.
14 and 6.
Sure, yeah,
that's probably which I think.
5,
I think that's going to be probably the goal for the Jaguars, kind of moving forward. Something along those lines of getting him 20 touches a game, one way or another. And I don't need ETN to get the ball 20 times in his gut.
No,
he's going to be a better player, better usage, better threat.
He's going to be an efficiency guy.
Using him in those different ways.
My man's averaging 6.1 yards per carry. He doesn't even need.
What's the most rushes he's had so far? How many did he have this past week?
14
that
for
was
114, 8.1 yards.
14 for 114. He doesn't need that many touches.
5 targets, but only 1 reception.
Okay,
right. And a really costly fumble. It was a bummer, but he came back with a vengeance after that. And he has made. That's the thing. He's only gotten loose twice, right? He had a couple long runs.
I think he had a couple long runs this week. I think he had 2 over 20. I don't know. I got the sleeper notifications for big plays, so
he's he hasn't busted a long touchdown run like Breece or Kenneth Walker have, but R.I.P. Breece for this year. Oh, what a bummer. We'll get there
very shortly.
But he has looked awesome, and he's made some mistakes, and they're sticking with him. And if he hadn't made those mistakes, and if he'd be playing perfect, if he could just put it all together at once, it would be incredible.
The nice thing was, even after the fumble, they still were going back to him. He didn't get benched, so that tells me that he has Peterson's trust.
Yeah, and I mean, now that they moved J-Rob.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's got to give you some context clues of how they feel about him, and what's the is there anybody else that you need to go ahead and pick up?
It's probably worth it's. If Snoop Connor's available, maybe as a speculative ad, just in case. Knock on wood, something happens with.
If Hasty's still out there, you should probably scoop him up. He's done pretty good on a couple
Hasty
of his
as well
touches,
too. Yeah, I'm assuming in a lot of Dynasty on larger bench teams, Hasty may have gotten scooped up, but
I've seen
Hasty
him
and
get
Connor
scooped up in the last couple of weeks, so he might not have gotten. And I think I think Big Code doing it in the leagues I'm in, so. Definitely scoop some Hasty.
I was hoping to pick up your boy on the Jets side there, Jay Wayne, but I think that might be gone and done now.
Who's that?
Zonovan. Bam.
He was free.
All right, let's roll over to the Jets side of things here. So Breece gets hurt.
Yeah, unfortunate.
You get the trade for
Justin Fields looked like he just got hurt. That
threw a very ugly ball and got smashed. And
still threw a touchdown though.
Herbert grabbed it and
had a wide open field in front of him.
Just ran in with a convoy. So Breece, obviously, bummer, as Jay Wayne said earlier.
Huge bummer.
Injury, ACL, really stinks.
was he? If he if he kept playing like he was he going to be the Dynasty 101 next year in single QB?
It would seem to be right there. I mean, we'll see how Jonathan Taylor finishes the season. We'll see how that switch goes. See how the Colts are up to. But he'd be
certainly in the conversation, and Barkley as well
sure.
too. Yeah. Well, maybe not Dynasty, but
yeah. So what do you think about J-Rob on the Jets here? What's his value? What do you think about it? Is it going to be mostly Michael Carter and a little bit of J-Rob? How do you guys feel about the Jets side of this?
I think I'd still rather have J-Rob
than Michael Carter.
Yeah, but I think it's probably going to be 50-50. I think it hurts.
It's kind of a bummer for Michael Carter for sure. Like you thought, oh man, my Michael Carter stock just went up. I think it still is up. Like I don't think J-Rob's just going to come in there and immediately take a bunch away from him. They run the Shanahan style offense. They want to rotate some guys. It's a good rushing attack.
Well, they want to keep the ball out of Zach Wilson's hands.
But I also think they could ride the hot hand as well too. So
yeah, I mean, what was the original question? Who would you rather have, J-Rob or Michael Carter?
It was basically just all of the things Jets, like the value of J-Rob, what you think about him on the Jets, what you think about Michael Carter, all encompassing conversation here for that side of the ball.
I mean, I think Michael Carter is probably still a must add if he was dropped anywhere.
Yeah,
in redraft
for
formats.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
I dropped him on Sunday to pick somebody up. I'm kicking myself over that one.
Yeah.
What can you do? I think that J-Rob's going to come in, and I think they're a good 1-2 punch. I think they're a good combo platter. I don't think.
Does this bring any value back for J-Rob?
I think it does.
I think it has to.
Definitely
he was
going
losing
down.
His job to ET.
Yeah, he's going to get more than 0 points. He's going to get more than 0 points.
I'm not going to hold this pass week against him. It seemed like they were ready to move him and get something for him and let ET take over. And so maybe
he's also been looking worse and worse and less efficient. Is he washed? And did they just make a nice move? Or both of you seem like you're still in camp J-Rob. Would you trade for J-Rob if you're a winning team right now?
No, I don't think so.
I'm not trying to trade for J-Rob. I don't think. But I'm not.
I mean, if I could pick him up for a third, maybe, but I don't think I'm
have
for that price.
J-Rob, I'm a little more excited, I think, than I was prior to him not being on the
How
Jets.
different is it than the situation he just left when they were kind of the beginning of the season, though?
In terms of like the team around him, or
in terms of maybe how you might see a usage split.
I mean, I don't think Carter's anywhere near explosive as Etienne
certainly is not.
Nor the
definitely better.
Take a bunch of carries away either.
Definitely seemingly a little bit better in the passing game. Definitely more explosive than J-Rob is. J-Rob was looking less and less explosive. J-Rob in no way is in comparison to Breece at all. With what Breece can do in the passing game, what Breece can do with just overall athleticism. So it's going to be interesting. They obviously wanted to bring in another running back that felt that they could lean on if they needed to.
Yeah. They also lost Elijah Vera Tucker for the season as well too.
Right. So that it's just kind of a stinky O-line, which was Breece was somehow getting it done in there, and they're actually running the ball pretty well. Like they're playing nasty, dirty games. Defense is good. Special teams is good. Zach Wilson just isn't good.
Yeah.
And it's not really fair. And he missed at the
still
end
winning
of things,
some games.
They're winning, but it's not. He's not doing much.
No.
To win those games.
It also doesn't help that they're losing wide receivers as well too. That doesn't help. So
sure. But I think it's going to be the Michael Carter show with a little bit of J-Rob mixed in.
If you had to guess the percentage, how much percentage would you say for?
I'd give it 60-40 J-Rob, Michael Carter.
So 60-40 in favor of Carter?
Michael Carter.
But Carter getting the more valuable PPR touches?
I think probably.
I think you said it. I'm game to game. They could ride a little bit more of a hot hand. But I guess I'm slightly concerned with, is J-Rob's hand ever going to be all that hot anymore?
That's true. I just think I'm more excited about J-Rob for on the Jets than I am him on the Jaguars going forward, especially for this season.
I think I'd be looking for the way out on J-Rob.
I mean, I think you probably could right now.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, other than maybe CMC, it usually doesn't work out that well for guys getting traded mid-season. Like, CMC came in for the 49ers and looked like fucking awesome. But like,
it does seem like it's a whole lot easier for running backs to acclimate to what's going on rather than a wide receiver.
but there's always like a value spike because it's like, oh, you could get unleashed. It's like a shiny new object. It's almost like
Sure.
a rookie draft.
Sure.
So if you've been looking to get out of your J-Rob, which you probably were because it hasn't been trending very well recently, it's probably a good time to be like, oh, he's about to take over for the Jets. Let me get a little something.
Yeah,
something
I mean,
for
I'll
him.
be looking to trade him pretty hard in the league in the one league I have. him
If
in.
he can look like week 1, week 2 J-Rob again, and they were just kind of like throttling him down a little bit and not give him as good of opportunity, then of course, you're going to look like an idiot for selling him. I feel like a lot of people have been J-Rob's been constantly doubted his whole career. But this might be my last final destination of trying to get off board the J-Rob
I mean, if you're trying to get off, this is probably great. This is probably a great stop to get off.
I'd see where it is now, and then I would see.
I would try and do it before he plays it down for the Jets.
Sure, and then I would then continue to see where that goes and sell. But I agree, I would try to do it before he plays. Michael Carter, on the other hand, he's somebody bought him for a 2. If they were like, hey, I could get out for a 2 now because this is basically Breece's backfield, would you buy Michael Carter for a 2?
I would probably have to be the Breece
Let's
owner.
say you, yeah.
If I was the Breece owner,
you're okay with it.
yeah, I think
You
I
got
would.
the handcuff. Then you're okay.
I'd have to be a
long-term?
really good team, though.
I
I
think
think
I
I'd have
would
to be a
just
competitive team. I
think-
think this is the point of the season where we're finally figuring out where our team is at.
Right.
I'd have to be a pretty strong team, at least 5-2, to
A
consider
2
that.
for Michael Carter seems like a lot.
It's what you paid, probably
In the rookie draft when
last
he came out.
year.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, shit. He vaulted up to the first in some instances.
yeah.
Because people are so thirsty and idiotic for a running back sometimes, which I'm all about getting the running back, but you can't be elevating the
So
Trey Sermons
you're
and
not
the
into
Michael
the
Carter.
2. It seems like you're basically just leasing Michael
2.
Carter for
Well,
the.
that's what I'm saying. If I'm the Breece owner, then I'm also getting his
Sure.
backup as well too.
Sure.
So that's the only way I'm considering it. Maybe 2/3 if I'm not.
I
not
might
the
be
Breece
trying
owner.
to like just if I lost Breece and I've been crushing it, I might see what happens. See, like, we have Breece and we're doing really well in that league.
Crushing, actually.
And it's a huge bummer to lose him, but it's such a deep starting lineup.
And there's a deep bench in that league as well too.
It's a massive bench.
It's a 40-man roster.
I think there's like 4 flex spots on top of a super flex.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we should do. I don't know if we should make a move to replace that production or just see how it goes.
I think I would
Breece.
I'd make the move replacing the production and probably stay away from both of those guys.
Right.
Yeah,
for me.
If I want to move a pick, I'm like trying to go do better than Michael Carter.
And
for
in
sure.
2 or 3 weeks, it could look like a terrible call. Maybe I think Michael Carter's a good player.
I do too. I just am not giving him very much respect right now. I don't want to move the 2 for him.
Yeah.
If I have Michael Carter, I feel good about it.
I think in that league, Jay Wayne, I could be convinced in moving our 1 next year.
to get a player to other than one of these 2 guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Holy shit.
Hey, I fuck them picks if you're ready to win. I mean, I know some people will say, "Oh, you can't ever do that. You can't trade away."
We got a strong team in that league.
Some people say if you lose the player to an injury or whatever, you don't want to trade that first away to try to supplement that thing. And I say, fuck that. I say, try to win when you're hot. Try to win when you can.
I might wait a second and see what
yes,
happens.
for
You know
sure.
what I
I'm
mean?
not going to do
I'm
anything
not
too.
like
I'm not going to do anything too Jamichael
I'm now
Hasty.
considering it,
Yeah.
But like this week was a fucking massacre of players.
If I had Michael Carter right now and
we did just get Nuke back.
offered you a 2, I offered you Michael Carter and I wanted your 2, you wouldn't give it to me? I think both of you would if I put you on the spot right now on that particular team with Breece Hall.
Do you have Michael Carter?
I do not.
Okay.
Like I said, man, if I'm about to move some picks, I want to go shoot a little higher.
Yeah.
All these aging running backs that everyone can't wait to fucking move. That's what I'm gonna go try and get.
Yeah, but you're probably not getting any of them for a 2.
No, I'm gonna pay more. I'm gonna spend a little bit more.
Would you rather pay the first for? Would you pay a first for Dalvin on a team like that, winning team right now, doing well in the league? You lost.
I think I want a little kickback with Dalvin.
I'm not really upset about trading one for any of those older running backs. If we get here in a couple weeks, if if we really need one. Like
yeah.
Dalvin, Aaron Jones.
Fuck, if we got Jacobs put him 40 points a week, we don't need a second. We don't need another running back.
And if Burrow's going to do that,
Yeah,
although
I
I don't
know,
know,
right?
I don't know what the injury with Chase is.
He came back in the second half.
Oh, he did come back?
Yeah.
All right,
I mean,
let's
Burrow's heating up.
let's keep it moving here.
Should we hit a couple questions? Should I
Sure,
give a
if
couple
you-
T-shirts
do you
away?
wanna-
What do you want?
whatever you want to do. I'm going to hit Ellinger and the Colts next. So go ahead.
Let's see here. Max Appel, hadn't seen that name before. Welcome to the show, or at least welcome chiming in. Glad you got it in on the chat. He said he lost Mike Williams and Breece Hall on a contender. He still has Christian McCaffrey, Kelsey, Cooper. I guess that's Amari Cooper, and 323 firsts. 2 of them are top 3 projected.
Whew.
And a bottom 3 projected pick. Only start 7, so that's a small starting lineup. He's 5-2. Do I sell house or go buy guys? And it's always hard to answer a question like that. So I followed up and said, what's the rest of that team look like? So he's got Brady and Deshaun Watson at QB, CMC, Gus Bus, Donta Foreman, I guess, at running back. So pretty thin there after losing Breece Hall. He's got Amari, Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton, Wan'Dale, and Tony to go with Kelsey, Joku, Dulcich. How long is Mike Dulcich? How long is Mike Williams supposed
high
to
ankle
miss?
sprain? He's gonna probably miss.
4 to 6.
They're on a bye this week. He's probably gonna miss the next week. So I would probably say he's gonna miss probably.
Those are like 4 to 6 weeks if it's a severe high ankle sprain. That's
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the severity of it, but he's gonna miss a couple games
at least. I mean, I don't know, man. Breece and Mike Williams, I guess they've been crushing it for you. CMC's been holding it down. Okay,
Wan'Dale's coming on.
Wan'Dale's coming along.
Dulcich had more usage this past week.
He's only starting 7, so that's like
non-super flex. It's a quarterback and 6 position players.
So it's basically like 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and
he's
then
starting
one
Kelsey,
flex.
Starting Kelsey, guaranteed. Yeah,
1 flex. So it's only 1 flex. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to sell house.
I would definitely mess around with that bottom 3 projected and see what you can scrape up.
See what you can get for that late one. I'm not getting too hasty, man. You lose a guy, everyone's going to lose guys. It's like a battle of attrition. Depth really helps. It's a lot different when you don't have to fill out a big old starting lineup. So I wouldn't get too hasty. Thoughts on Juju?
Oh, crushing the past 2 weeks.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like
is he taking over that one?
I don't know if it's going to be, the counted on one every week necessarily.
No, but I think you can plug him in and get wide receiver 3 points from him pretty easily.
It seems like the offense is doing a good job kind of evolving as the season goes on. They're figuring out who they are without Tyreek and how to play and what to do. And, Juju's looking pretty solid out there. I mean, it was a
little touch and go there at the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid right now. So
yeah.
What was the question?
That wasn't the question. It was thoughts on Juju. So you nailed it. Let's see. Drampion. Welcome back, dude. He says, hey guys, really uncertain on what to do in a 12-team half-point PPR. Start 10. So it includes kicker and defense. So 2 flexes.
10.
2 flexes. Current record 4-3. People have started
10.
People have started stashing
Thanks, Reggie Ray.
23 firsts or trading to compete. I still have CMC and Mixon, Brian Robertson, Pierce. That must be Damian Pierce because it's listed with the running backs. Madison, then young wide receiver core, Gabriel, my son Gabriel, George Pickens, Wan'Dale, Curtis Samuel, Josh Allen, and Pickett at QB. Didn't mention whether it was super flex or not. Really unsure if I should contest or not. Man, you should always contest. Right? You should always compete.
You play to win the game.
CMC, Mixon, Damian Pierce. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You got Gabriel Davis, and then you're kind of hurting it at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like you only have Pickens, Wan'Dale, Curtis Samuel.
Well, it's not too bad with Gabe, Pickens, and Wan'Dale.
You still need to find a second flex,
Yeah.
So it must not be It must not be super flex. He didn't specify that. So otherwise, Pickett would be your second quarterback. But Josh Allen is keeping you in it every week. I mean, I would give it a second here. When your trade deadline is, and then
where's he at? What's his record?
He's 4-3.
Okay.
You know, right there in the middle in the mix.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do anything right now. I think.
Well, he's basically saying like the league is starting to move in the direction where it's might be a little harder to start obtaining pieces because pieces are already going. So, I can't really necessarily in good faith just say, yeah, do one thing or the other. I mean, I think you could try to play it a little bit more down the middle instead of going all in, and hopefully that all in with some, stuff that might cost you down the line, and be like, just try to play. Maybe you're not buying the youngest guys, but you're not buying the oldest guys.
Yeah.
Some of the middle guys, which I don't have any great examples. Obviously Diggs is going to be really expensive.
Yeah, maybe go take a stab on a Kyron Williams or something. I don't know.
Well, that's youth, pretty young.
Yeah, but he still was. What was he, a third or fourth round rookie pick? Go see what the Henderson owners wants. I mean,
is a second too steep for Nico Collins? I think it's probably too much to pay right now.
He's hurt now, right?
He's hurt right now, but I'm not sure how severe it is.
I'm probably chilling out with that for a minute.
I think with the 2, you're hoping that. I think if you trade him for the 2, you're hoping they trade Cooks.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I think you probably get him for cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Back to that other guy there. I mean, Scary Terry hasn't crushed, and then Heinicki's in there now. He was decent with Heinicki last year. Scary Terry's not super old. There's good talent there. Like maybe that's not the worst kind of guy to go after right there. He's not gonna kill you for next year because he's so old. He's 26 or 27. But those were kind of guys that I was thinking of.
Sure.
I'm scrolling through a list of guys here. I don't know that Mooney's necessarily your guy, but I mean Wan'Dale, he said he had him already as a younger guy. Christian Kirk's still been okay, but I don't know if you're going to get him. Your guy Jacoby, you could maybe go try to make a play for him. He'll get you some points. But I think for him, he's probably searching for a little bit more of wide receiver 1 points.
And you're going to pay wide receiver 1 prices.
That's what I'm trying to find you one without selling the farm for him, trying to find somebody. But I'm okay. I'm also okay with saying, hey, then sit out this draft or whatever, which you don't really want to do, especially with that younger team that he's got, and try to acquire, try to spend some money on somebody. I mean, try to see if the losing, like the Diggses and the Tyreek Hills and the teams that are a little losing and want to sell, that's really what you got to do. You got to go explore rosters, see which teams are going in the opposite direction, see what guys are available, and then start, He
said Pittman owner, for example, wants a 23 first.
Give it to him.
See ya.
Yeah.
The only
even with Matt Ryan going out,
we'll get there in a second with Ellinger here, but what do you I would say yes, but
I feel like we've been saying that all season, so
I gotta hit the bathroom. You guys crush this.
Okay. Let's go through a couple more questions here. Let's see. Where are we? Start up. So Theo. What up, Theo? Theo's been an OG for a while. He says, I have one redraft league. Probably maybe get a couple more of those. Those were super fun, huh? No? Says I have JT, Barkley, Chubb, Walker, Moestert. Top 10 backs. I need to trade one and upgrade at wideout. Which one of my wide receivers I have to pair? Which one should I trade with a wide receiver to pair up on a trade? He's got Scary Terry, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Olave, and Cooks. I mean, I would try and keep all them boys except Moestert. You can maybe trade
I would say maybe Chubb too.
You trading Chubb?
He's going to get more than Moestert is, and
you pair him up with a wide receiver. You try and go do a 2-for-1.
Okay,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, Moestert had a touchdown this past week. Looked okay.
Mostert's been crushing all year long. He's
Yeah.
had a solid stat line.
30 years old too.
It's just
Shout out to
fits more
shout out to the
what
30-year-olds.
he fits more what Shanahan wants to do than
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds. I say
Crazy
Shanahan,
they
but-
came from the same offense that he was going to play better.
Yep.
Wild.
I mean, it's probably a good week to trade Scary Terry, although Heinicki really put some life into that
Yeah.
man.
Good week to trade more too.
Good week to trade more. What could you go get from Moestert and DJ Moore? Trade your two guys that just had a good week, and you're not probably starting Moestert, so that's
Not with those 4 other guys.
That's what I'd be thinking, Theo. Appreciate you, dude. Would you trade a 24 first for Derrick Henry at the trade deadline?
Ugh. It's kicking the
Man
can
just
a
had
little
like
bit.
30 carries.
Yeah. I don't.
Try and trade for a younger guy, and then
That's a
first?
bad question.
It's a bad question.
Your question sucks.
No, I said it's a bad question for me because I'm just like,
That's exactly what Foreman said.
Yeah. You're kicking the can a little bit down there, but I mean,
look, if you feel like you have a good enough team to compete right now,
yeah.
then go for it. And then you got to try to spend the next year trying to figure out how to finagle something back that get a pick back somehow. So that gives you some time to figure that out, though.
That's true. It does give you time to reacquire that pick.
So I don't hate it. I mean, Derrick Henry's healthy. Let's ride.
I would try and do a 23 second before I do a 24 first.
Oh, that's not happening. Maybe you could try a 23 second and a 24 second before you do that.
Okay, that's fine.
Could you trade like a 26 first?
I don't know. It's looking like a good class.
Yeah.
Those high school seniors. That's good.
Let's see. Wade says thoughts on Jerry Jeudy. I think we're going to get to him here in a little bit. Let's see. Justin Schmitz. Sup, boys? Great show. Appreciate it. Always like a compliment before the question. It doesn't hurt. Dynasty 12 team super flex. Great set. 0.75 PPR. That's weird. I don't know if I've ever seen 0.75 PPR.
3/4 point.
Yeah. Rebuilding. Yeah, like we want to give extra, but not just not too much. Rebuilding is 2 firsts and 23. Give Jahan Dotson and Garrett Wilson. Man, I like the specific trade questions, not like the how do I totally change my whole team in this one little YouTube comment. That's really hard for us to do. You know what I mean?
But we can sometimes get you at least some
Point
ideas
in the right
percolating.
direction. Yeah.
Right.
Get the percolator.
Give
Percolating.
Jahan
Not
Dotson and
percolating.
Garrett Wilson. Get Hamler, Mooney, mid-late 23 first. No way. None. I don't even want to read the rest of that.
No, I'm keeping Dotson.
Keep
and
Dotson
Wilson.
and Garrett Wilson. That was easy. All right, let's move along. What do you want to go
Gavel.
to, Case? Yeah.
It is decided.
I should have just answered that in the text. My bad.
I mean, let's go. I said Ellinger before we went to some cues. Matt Ryan getting benched. 33 of 44, 243, a bad pick 6. Not sure if it was necessarily his fault, but it
still happened.
It seemed like they were just not on the same page. Paris kind of went up and around the guy, and Matt kind of threw it to the out. That was pretty close to the difference in the game, but odd a little bit. I mean, Matt Ryan hasn't played extremely well. Last week was okay. This week, not great.
I mean, Ellinger definitely adds a different dynamic than Ryan does.
Right. Gives you some legs. I don't know if the locker room wasn't feeling Matt Ryan. I don't know what was going on over there. I feel like Irsay's kind of sucks. I think he's I think he's a big part of the fucking problem over there.
He's hammered.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
How could you not be
What?
in the city of Indianapolis?
He doesn't
though?
drink. He does drugs.
Yeah. He's-
Okay.
So Ellinger obviously coming in after the Titans,
Who's
gave it
not
to the
doing
Colts
both?
again. Shout out to somebody in one of the Patreon leagues who like 2 weeks ago, drawing a blank on who it was, 2 weeks ago sent us Mariota for Ellinger. We took the Mariota side because we had Ellinger, and that really
we should have taken Mariota.
we did take Mariota.
Oh, nice.
We had he.
Oh, that's how we got Mariota.
We had
I
Ellinger.
didn't even see that.
That's because I didn't.
All of a sudden, I'm like, how
I
did we
didn't
get
con-
Mariota?
I didn't consult you because I was like, I'm going to take this trade. Like, and now this motherfucker's playing Quantum Leap over here. Just went back and he was.
I didn't even recognize because I went back to look for trades.
Are you
I
playing
saw
a leagues with Miss Cleo?
Yeah.
She was found out to be a fraud.
All of a sudden,
Really?
Shocker.
Really?
There's
Really?
some new chick though. She's pretty hot. I might call her up. Say, hey.
It's a 1-800 number, not a 1-900 number.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a little bit of. That's how they shot the promo commercial. Was like it was a 1-900 number.
Bonk.
A lot of close up lip shots.
Getting bonked over here.
What is
She's like, I'll tell you, you're
All right,
bullshit.
moving on.
obviously that was seemingly Mike could be a solid move, whereas Mariota could be heading to the bench in a few weeks, and
Should be.
Ellinger, seemingly they're already saying, hey, rest of the season, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of weird to just make that declaration right away. So they must feel some type of way. So shout out to, might have been the Butcher. I'm not sure who it was in the Patreon thing for that foresight. He said he didn't think it was going to happen this quick, but he said he thought he saw it coming. So fuck it. Mariota, whatever.
Why not?
Yeah. So wish I had Ellinger still. Ellinger still.
So I'm in a 14-team Superflex league, and
Uh-huh.
I just put my entire fab that I haven't spent $1 yet, and I'm putting my entire fab towards.
yeah.
That was one of the
Ellinger.
questions. How much fab to put on Ellinger in a super flex lead? My QBs are ass. I said, dude, just push them all in.
That's what I
like,
did.
I don't even have any fab in any of these dynasties because I just spend way too much. As soon as someone I think is decent, I grab them.
I
it
put
all,
If it's not
100%.
FFPC, but
100%.
it's different in FFPC. These
yeah. I mean, it depends if you need money to make moves. Sometimes you, like FFPC, you got to have $1 to make a move. So you want to leave yourself a couple bucks to be able to move defenses.
I don't need
Pick up a $1 guy or two.
I can pick up guys for free.
Yeah. So you got to take that into but yeah, you should probably push a decent amount of chips in. There's not going to be too many quarterbacks that could pop up and be good. I mean, look, Zappy just popped up and you probably missed him.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless Ritter's still sitting out there, but he's probably not in a Superflex league.
I mean, if Ritter's out there, put $1 on him because he's obviously just been sitting out there, and then put the rest on Ellinger. So yeah, you should throw a decent amount. We got an FFPC team with Ellinger out there, obviously, because he's probably out there in every Superflex FFPC team. And
yeah, they're short benches.
we got an okay stack of money left. We typically spend a pretty heavy in the beginning and then kind of flatten out a little bit, but keep some around. So I'll be spending, a decent amount on Ellinger this week, and see if we get him. Missed Rippin by
Rypien.
$2.
Tell her I have a
This last week,
rapist wit.
Not that it really mattered. We bought PJ
Rapier.
Walker the week before, and obviously I was like, can't start him this week, and then fucking crushed it. But now if I start him, I can't start him next week because he's going to SD.
Or they're going to play one of the other two guys.
No, they're not. They said that he's there and they're going with him. PJ Walker's in.
Yeah, they already said the PJ Walker's starting
For week 8?
Yep.
See. All right. So how do we feel? Like my man just said, we said a first for Pittman for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'll be, if it doesn't quite work out this year, which that guy's hoping it does because he's trying to compete, I guess, but it's not going to hurt you long term.
No.
So
Pittman's what, 24?
So for sure,
Yeah,
go with
24.
that. And him and Matt Ryan was peppering him.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll see what happens. If Ellinger's just not very good, then it's obviously going to hurt.
It could go to Big Dick Nick.
Could hurt, yeah, possibly, but that could hurt Pittman. And then, we've seen it before. We talk about it all the time. When a new quarterback comes in, who's going to be the guy? Who's his guy? Is it going to be? It stinks for Paris Campbell because the last 2 weeks for Paris Campbell, Matty Ice was finally giving him targets. And
Could be Pierce.
It could be any one of those guys. And when we don't really know. So if Paris Campbell's still out there, which I'm sure he's a hot pickup right now. We picked him up a week early for $1. But is there you losing any confidence in starting any of those receivers this week?
I mean, I think Pittman's the only one you can really start with confidence.
You almost have to roll Pittman out.
Probably
Yeah.
can't. You probably don't have a better option than Pittman.
Yeah,
No.
you probably got to roll Pierce to the bench.
Yeah.
And probably Paris to the bench, although I was going to play, but I would have absolutely played Paris Campbell this week if Matt Ryan was starting.
would have definitely been in the conversation.
He's coming alive. It's just good to see because he was dead. He was left for dead, and people were ready to cut him to pick up scrubs.
Is there any trade value for Ellinger for you guys? Like a third probably isn't getting it done after somebody picks him up for their fab.
I can't say I know much about Ellinger. Like, y'all know much about this
I think
man?
he's played pretty well in the preseason. I know he went to Texas. I know he's got some decent legs.
Yeah.
Are you like excited about him?
I'm always going to be excited.
In that league that I have, that I'm spending my entire fab budget on, I also get quarter point per carry as well too. So,
well, if you can spend your entire fab budget on a guy you could potentially trade for a pick, like,
oh no, I'm going to
do
start
that,
him. I'm going to probably start him over.
Right, but I'm just saying we're talking about whether you should trade him and what you could get for him.
I mean, if somebody offers me a second, I'm be like, no.
I'm excited because there's a little bit of rushing upside. We this team's kind of been asleep a little bit, and you know, you're hoping you get a little slap in the face, a little slap your mama, and see what happens. But you know, it most likely is going to just be meh. But who knows? I mean, like I said, it's weird that they have so much confidence in saying that he's going to be the starter for
that rushing, the Konami code.
Right,
the
legs,
definitely.
What is this Konami code? I don't know what that is either. Is that
the Contra cheat code?
It's Contra cheat code. Oh, I know up down AB.
Yeah, that's the Konami code.
Oh, well, it's the Contra cheat code.
Konami
it's got another name.
I think
it's got another name.
Yeah,
I think Konami makes.
Don't ask me. Ask Rich Rebar.
I'm not a Twitter guy. Can't be asking Twitter people's. This is a very important text.
Yeah,
could be.
Just seeing what's going on.
Is it Rich Rebar?
I mean, I could get him on the horn. I think.
Does he look like Zach Morris?
No, definitely not that handsome.
Yeah,
it's Kelly Kapowski.
All right, where are we at here?
I have no idea. Something about Sam Ellinger.
Well, just if we were excited or not. So,
I mean, I'm excited more for Ellinger than I am for any other pieces in Indy.
Yeah, the O-line's a little banged up. That could and stinks a little worse than people realize. So the legs are gonna hopefully help you out in that regard a little bit. Probably, if you had to guess, you know, you would think that Jonathan Taylor is going to be the focal point of what's going to happen moving forward.
One would hope,
right? So, all right, moving on here. You guys, who you want to talk about next? You want to go Green Bay, Washington, or you want to go? You want to go there?
We got to talk about B-Rob.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go Green Bay, Washington. Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady going to retire first in season.
Brady going to retire to try and save the marriage.
What a wild week for
it just
Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
It seems like everything is fucking wild in the NFL right now. Like it's just
this
Heinicki
league
beats Rodgers,
PJ Walker
beats Brady.
Shout out the XFL.
We were like a year too early on
PJ Walker. Yeah. I mean, Rodgers just flat out not playing great. The Packers flat out not playing great. The only bright spot, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon, colossal bust this year for fantasy. You know, and then really nobody of note for the pass catchers really doing anything except for Lazard.
Lazard's injured now.
And injured, but I mean, seemed. I think he went out and came back in, and then just didn't do that much after.
I think
he
left because they said they said he was in a sling at practice today.
Not good. But you know, Lazard's probably going to be seemingly out for a few weeks here.
I would say you missed your window to trade Lazard, but nobody fucking wants to trade for Lazard. You can't trade him.
I mean, you certainly, I think, could have traded him. I mean, I think there's plenty of people who would take him. I think you could absolutely get a two.
Didn't we try to get a two?
We didn't get that far, and that's a weird league. So you just can't go.
We have Lazard in a couple spots
with one league. I don't think so.
Lazard only played 32 of 54 snaps.
That's a weird league, so you can't really go on that. I think people would happily give up. Would have given up twos for Lazard's production week in, week out. I know I would have. That roster that Jason's talking about is just happens to be one that we're going the opposite direction in and keep losing guys. And it's an auction league. So you know,
Money
nobody,
helps.
everybody really has started to hang on to those picks a lot more closely because, you know, as soon as somebody starts getting some legs up with money wise, it's really hard to do anything in the draft because they can just keep big dicking the you know, the guys that are out there, and it's hard. You know, you got to wait until the scraps are left, and then you know, then all the guys who, you know, weren't able to get that higher end of guys, they're all fighting over these last like three.
They're overpaying for players,
right? So it gets a little tricky. So, but you know, Romeo Doubs, nothing on the day there. Gotta come out of your lineup, which next week he'll probably crush.
Yeah, I mean,
good time to buy.
I mean, if Lazard misses time, I'm probably putting him in my lineup.
If you could sell Romeo for Wan'Dale right now, would you do that?
Seems like you probably should.
I would do that.
Sell Romeo, get Wan'Dale.
I don't want to, but I
don't know if I don't know why do that.
Okay, I'm in. I'm saying yeah.
Are we going to talk about Wan'Dale?
We can talk about either side. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just a little bit concerned with Wan'Dale not playing in outside of 3 wide receiver sets.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, he's barely played at all and been very startable in fantasy. I mean,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just talking about long term.
Yeah, I guess
long term he's already usurped Richie James. I mean,
oh, thank goodness he usurped Richie James.
Well, he was getting a lot of run, and he basically played all the slot snaps. Like that's what he is. He's a slot player. So I mean, you just don't like any slot players because they're not going to play in 2 wide receivers sets. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
And to be fair,
my man's crushing.
To be fair,
looks awesome.
He's been hurt, so
I'm just making a point here.
You're allowed to make points. I'm allowed to counterpoint.
Not a good point.
So you can agree or disagree. I would prefer if he'd be playing more in 2 wide receiver sets.
You just want outside wide receivers. Slot guys don't usually play in 2 wide receiver sets, right?
Not all the time.
I think he.
My man's like $170.
I look at it like this: he came in and was immediately the volume guy in that offense, and that's what I want. I want the volume guy in the day ball offense, the guy that he picked to come in and do things. Now, will they certainly add a wide receiver 1 to that offense? Certainly.
I don't know. They don't even want to play Tony. I mean,
he's hurt, or they don't like him, or whatever. I don't know. Bad attitude. It's the thing with Tony has always been the head.
Attitude.
Can the head get right? But Wan'Dale came out there and I think doesn't get crunched up in that he just has a bigger and bigger week and a bigger and bigger role every week and would keep that offense moving forward. Now, be the catalyst for that offense. Now, obviously they get a big time wide receiver 1, which I think, you know, they're going to the one way or another, draft it or trade for it. Free agent. I don't know who's.
They should probably just stick with the draft instead of overpaying for wide receivers.
But you know, I would mostly because I feel like I like Wan'Dale. I think he can PPR wise, you know, I think he can soak up targets. I think he's going to be that guy for the Giants who can just keep the chains moving. And he's got, you know, a little bit of that kind of, you know, the stuff he did at Nebraska and the stuff he did at Kentucky. He's got a little bit more
rabbit with the ball in his hands.
He's got a little
like
bit
a
more,
running back almost, kind of.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more to him than just being a wide receiver.
He played running back.
And I just like the way that, you know, Dayball and the Giants are going one way and I mean, I'm not counting the Packers out of anything, but Aaron Rodgers is going another way.
Right.
And you know, now does Jordan Love come in and is he good? Probably not. I don't know. The Packers do something else at quarterback, maybe so, but just a little bit more like never in my life never in 2022 did I think I would be saying, you know, I'm more concerned about Green Bay moving forward than the Giants moving forward. But, you know, right now it seems like we're kind of there in the moment. And now, you know, I was pretty hot and heavy on Doubs and was saying, hey, you know, with a little bit more confidence from Aaron Rodgers and a little bit more that, hey, I'm staying around for a couple more years, I would have gone all the way up to the first for him because I do believe in the talent. But I think I would swap out for Wan'Dale right now if I could.
I think it's fair.
And it says not selling Doubs for Wan'Dale would be bad process, in my opinion. Easily give me the wide receiver drafted in the 2nd round, handpicked by the new coaching staff. We've never been big draft capital guys, so I don't know that I would just be like, second rounder, so you got to take him. Doubs has shown a lot. Just because he had a 0, it's a bad week to go to bat for Doubs.
He
I
wasn't
think
good
he's a
last week.
trade candidate right now. The thing is Rodgers long term. Now, to the point of the organizations, I think Green Bay will figure it out. Either they obviously should know by now what they have in Love. He did actually look better in the preseason than I've seen him look ever in his career this past preseason. And he did have a little bit of a connection with Doubs, threw up a really nice intuitive ball that Doubs came back and got, and Rodgers was impressed by it and was like, yeah, I'm about to throw my man some love. And it's probably going to have to happen with Doubs. I could see it coming right back. You get a couple good weeks of Doubs, and it's back.
I think
right
it will
back
happen.
up there. I think the Packers will figure it out, whether they get another quarterback. They got a good organization. They always have had, and I believe in Matt LaFleur. So I'm not extremely worried about Doubs long term because of Aaron Rodgers. It's not like Aaron Rodgers is crushing with Doubs right now either. So my man gets behind defenses, and it's like, would you rather have the volume guy that's good after the catch, or would you rather get the guy that gets behind defenses and makes you play in one day? It's kind of but apples and oranges kind
Doubs
of thing.
Also
almost.
could be a volume guy. It's just not there right now. Rodgers is just, Rodgers is going to have to stop being a little bitch and come around and be like, hey, this is what you fucking got. Throw it to him. Like there's just Tony Dungy said it on the halftime report. There's fucking guys open. You're just not hitting him. You're not throwing it to him. Like, I think Romeo will be just fine. I think he's a good player.
I'm bald,
and
I talk about guys with hair, but
I'm fine with. I'm not saying that I'm just going and panic selling Romeo, and I'm
I don't think it's a panic
Wan'Dale's
sell.
a great return. I'm not saying
buy
that
low.
y'all are wrong saying taking Wan'Dale over. I just don't think it's bad process if I want to keep Doubs. That's all my only point. Like, I'm fine. You want to turn Doubs into Wan'Dale? Like, Wan'Dale was cheap enough. Casey's been on him. He's like, you should go get him. He's been obtainable.
Yeah, we've been talking about Wan'Dale for 2 weeks now.
Cheap enough to get in your rookie draft. Cheap enough to get all season.
Had to bail me out of some fucking redraft. Start 3 wide receivers. It was hopefully Wan'Dale is
right. We started him.
Sure.
And he did bail us out. Yeah. Of course, DJ Moore bailed us out too this week.
You started him?
We had to.
I had no fucking
We're
choice.
so depleted, man. It's wild. We had to start DJ Moore and Wan'Dale, and
if I had any single other option, DJ Moore would have been on the fucking bench.
I'm glad you didn't have that option.
I'm so glad right now.
Yeah.
We dropped like 200 in that league.
Yeah. 200 points.
Anybody got anything else before we go to the other side?
No.
All right, let's hop on the other side. Tyler Heinicki plays, a pretty
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor Heinicki.
Taylor
plays a pretty decent game, 20-33, 201 yards.
It's that second half, bro.
He's just a gamer.
He is. He's a gamer.
He just finds a way.
Early Taylor Heinicki, strong. I don't know if it'll keep up, but he had them boys. What you did know was that he likes Terry McLaurin.
Right. I said that earlier.
And
Terry looked good. Terry was energized. Terry was fired the fuck up on the sidelines. Like,
what a novel idea, throwing the ball to Terry McLaurin.
Right.
He prevented a pick, a bad throw by Heinicki, and McLaurin came over and played defense, and then came back and made a miraculous grab to seal that game at the end. Just loving some Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Fired him up in the one league I have him in, because I was like, it's also start 3 wide receivers, and I just lost Marquise, and was like, Taylor Heinicki, let's go.
So Terry
played well last year.
Terry might have been out of the lineup for the last week or two for you. Is he back in now? If you have him,
you got to.
I think I was still, yeah.
If you have a better option,
I think I was still starting him based on they don't really have any other options.
Yeah. All right. So
if you look into the target share here, McLaurin had 8, Samuel had 8, nobody else had more than 4, and it was Gibson.
Yeah, no Logan Thomas.
Gibson.
No no Dotson, like you said.
Yeah.
Did Diami Brown play?
No.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of options.
You had Dax Milner, Cam Sims,
and Armani Rodgers.
He's a tight end.
Manny Rodgers. Who's this imposter? So then we have the running back situation for the Commanders.
Gross.
Yeah.
Some diamonds in the rough there. Very interesting. It's not fun to start them.
All right, so unpack that a little bit. What are you talking about?
I just don't feel like anyone's like Robinson's getting the carries, but Gibson's still getting like short yardage work there. And then you throw in McKissick, who's still playing. He's still playing on the 2-minute drills. So
no targets for McKissick. It didn't look like on here.
He had 2.
Where do you see that? Oh, okay, yeah, at the bottom. Gotcha.
I just don't know who like I don't know if you can start any of them. Are you starting anything with confidence?
They're running backs, you know. It's so you might have to start Gibson or J-Rob, right? A guy that just you're a professional. Did I say J-Rob?
Yeah.
B-Rob. Jeez. Sorry, Brian. Incredible story. Shout out to Brian Robinson. You might have to start a guy that's getting, 21 carries, 20 carries, something like that?
21
carries, which, you know, it looked like he looked in Alabama to me. Like, he was never, like, special at Alabama.
Yeah.
But he got the job done. He got what was blocked. He got a couple extra. He falls forward. He's a gamer. He catches anything that's thrown to him. And he just does what you need a guy to do.
I'm just worried about what's being blocked.
He's nothing special. Well, but it looked good. It was a fun looking offense. They got Curtis Samuel involved in the backfield. They had some misdirection. Heinicki extended some drives. It took to the second half, right?
I think
wasn't
Heinicki,
like a barrage of points,
makes the offense a little more interesting with his mobility.
And he'll take shots. He'll take chances. And so it looked. I actually didn't hate what I saw from them offensively, especially in that second half. And it's not like the Packers are a slouch defensive team. And, you know, when you're watching Red Zone, it was just Gibson popping off. There was like one good run by Brian Robinson where it was nicely blocked and he got the edge and then he took like 4 defenders with him for an extra 5 to 8 yards. You got to like what you see from Brian Robinson, but I think you really got to like what you see from Antonio Gibson. And because he just looks so explosive, and they're finally like using him a little bit more. They threw him the ball. Yeah. He made a spectacular catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah,
like he was getting some red zone work and taking like 2-minute drill work and passing downs away from McKissick. Like fucking finally get McKissick out of my fucking life already.
Yeah, I think now
it's gonna be a headache. I'm with you. It's not that fun to be like, oh, I want one of these guys so I can start him. But like nobody on the Red Commanders are you like, oh, I want to get that guy and start him.
Yeah.
Right? Even Dotson, but like, or McLaurin. But like they're good players. And we're playing Dynasty here.
Yeah.
And so I am down to get the good player in not a necessarily great situation and just have him. You know, I'm not saying I do think you should trade for Antonio Gibson. I don't know. We should definitely talk about what you should do with James or Brian Robinson because he's the one that everyone cares about. Nobody cares about Antonio Gibson. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck that he just crushed, that he did well with the touches that he got. For some reason, they just hate Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, I mean,
and they want Brian Robinson to be the best thing ever.
I mean, if you can give me 10 to 12 carries a week for Gibson and 4 to 5 catches, I mean, that's probably worth putting him in your flex spot.
Oh, for sure, because he's gonna average a good return with those touches. Like he just looks so fucking good with the ball in his hands. It's a different type of player with Gibson and Brian Robinson. Like Brian Robinson is a good player. Gibson has raw, untapped, ridiculous talent. It's not even close, in my opinion. Gibson pops off the fucking page. That dude's a fucking stud.
I think Robinson's more of your traditional running back, but Gibson's more of your new age. Can make things happen in the passing game more than Robinson can, and he's a little bit more twitchy. He's quicker.
And he can do more. He played wide receiver basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Which Brian Robinson is no slouch in the receiving game, and I think that's why people like him is because he did catch a fair amount of balls at Alabama and was pretty good in the passing game. But Brian Robinson is the guy on everyone's mouth. That's the guy that everybody wants to be the guy. They want him to be the man to take over, and they're seeing the carries that he's getting, and he's the hot topic right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting 20 carries for the last basically 2 games, essentially, you know that's gonna.
They're coming back from getting shot in the leg multiple times.
That's gonna raise some eyebrows. I played Robinson this week over McCaffrey because I just didn't know what I was going to get from McCaffrey, and that was my other option.
That's fair.
And it did work out by 2 points, I think, but no victory laps here for that.
Yeah, a nice touchdown.
You don't want hollow victory laps. So
we want dense victory laps.
Girthy victory laps.
Thick.
Like Talladega like victory laps. Big wide track. I want short track.
None of that Bristol stuff. I want Pocono.
Pocono.
The tri-oval.
The tricky triangle, Bo.
I do love something Pocono.
But Brian Robinson hasn't, I think Jason hit it pretty well. I mean, he hasn't looked great, but he hasn't looked terrible.
He's looked like a rookie.
I got to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I would say I'd be looking to move off if I could.
Yeah, I'm not looking to move. I'm not looking to. I don't know that I'm looking to move on him or off him. I think I'm just kind of seeing where the dust settles,
and that's okay. I obviously,
especially if you drafted him where he was going at the beginning part of the rookie season,
end of the second,
yeah,
maybe early
third, where he
even.
Was going back end of the first round. I'm panicking a little bit there.
For sure, you shouldn't have been doing that, and that was your own fault.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have done that. That was silly. I thought maybe
you big Philly goose.
Thought maybe you would have learned from Trey Sermons and the Michael Carter. Don't force it up in there. They just let it be. Let somebody else do that. But yeah, so if you paid that price, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
If you paid that price, would you get out for something less right now, or are you just gonna hold?
Depends on that less is. I mean,
like a 2.
Have to be a pretty early 2, but no one's giving that right now, so I'm just gonna probably hold.
Yeah, I mean, the thought process with Brian Robinson for me is I think that's a good we're doing a show. You're saying would you buy,
have
sell,
to have an
whatever,
opinion.
You gotta have an opinion, and I think it's okay to just be kind of
it's okay to be in the middle sometimes.
Sitting here
just
saying
breathe.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I do agree with you on the Gibson stuff. I mean, it seems counterintuitive to say to buy Antonio Gibson because there is a whole nother year of him and Brian Robinson, but
and that's what you were doing is the contract. He's got another year there.
Well, he does. I was checking on JD McKissick, and it's just like JD McKissick just doesn't.
He just got re-signed.
Yeah, he did, but he's got. They can get rid of him.
He's on the way out.
They can get rid of him with $2 million dead next year.
That neat little pie chart thing from PFF was showing McKissick on the way out.
Right, and I mean maybe
just won throwing it to Gibson.
Maybe they bring him back a little for one more year because he's pretty cheap. But it's just like this is how you should be playing. It's if you don't want to give, and maybe Antonio Gibson isn't the quote unquote necessarily the workhorse because he hasn't shown an ability to necessarily stay healthy or not fumble. Let's show the same energy. I think Brian Robinson fumbled this week. See the Ron Rivera show that same energy for Brian Robinson.
He won't.
He will not. Those terrible fucking glasses. There's nothing I hate worse than
I think Gibson's just trying not to get fired.
Glasses that tint when you walk inside.
Outside?
Oh, yeah, outside.
The old transition lenses?
Absolute just square transition lenses. Get out of my face.
Why do you hate those?
Just what
That's
a Daryl.
No one should wear transition lenses.
What a Daryl. Get some fucking sunglasses.
Those are terrible. Exactly. Get some prescription.
You make glasses?
You make several $1 million a year. You can't buy some fucking prescription sunglasses.
The worst glasses ever on the sideline.
Do either of you guys wear glasses? Or
no,
contacts?
no. I'm a man. I don't wear glasses.
Yeah. What do you mean? I
just fucking squint.
Yeah.
Do you?
They tried to give me
contacts?
glasses. So get the fuck out of here.
No, I don't need contacts.
I don't know if y'all can speak on people who wear glasses.
Yeah, I 100% can. I can exactly tell you how I feel about what it looks like on their fucking face.
I don't have a problem wearing the glasses. I'm with Casey. I don't like the frames and definitely no transition lenses.
Yeah.
If you're mad about the frames, look, that's fine. But the transition, maybe
get out of here with the transition.
Until you live that life, how you gonna judge?
You know who wears transitions? Fucking 50-year-old weird fucking dads. That's who wears transition.
Fucking Ron Rivera is.
He makes several $1 million a year.
Just get some fucking sunglasses or wear regular glasses on the sideline.
Who wants to carry around 2 pairs of glasses?
First of all,
you can wear prescription sunglasses.
First of all, how many fucking coaches wear sunglasses on the fucking sideline? Wear some regular goddamn glasses.
Maybe he's sensitive eyes, man. You don't know.
Wow, get out of here, this fucking guy.
You don't wear glasses. I don't know if you can
You
judge
can
the man.
absolutely judge somebody on wearing fucking glasses.
What's next? Those old lady sunglasses
He's got a fucking
that puts over his glasses.
fucking rack of pearls as his.
He should. I would. Fuck y'all. Fuck the
Fucking-
haters.
Those like super dark, which I don't know how they see shit
Flip
out of
that
them.
bitch up.
Oh, dude!
I'd
If
be
he
way-
wore
I'd
the
be- that'd be way fucking-
wait. If he wore
He'd
the
be a fucking
flip-ups,
G for wearing the
exactly.
fucking flip
Oh,
ups.
Exactly.
but that's acceptable.
He'd be
Dude,
a
those-
fucking G for the flip
Okay.
ups, just flipping
All
those bad
right.
boys up and flipping them down. What a
I'm
giving somebody
idiots.
the stink eye, flipping those things up,
exactly.
bang, right back down.
Exactly.
No, you gotta pull him down. Like, that's a way more gangster move to pull him down and be like,
Nah, but
till you wear glasses, get out of
stop-
here.
This is the dumbest thing you've ever said. Till I wear glasses, I can't say whether or not I think transition lenses stink or not. This is the dumbest shit ever. Get out of here.
Try a pair on. Maybe you like them.
No, I won't. They're dumb. They look ridiculous. I would
The
never wear
idea
something
is
that
not
looks
terrible.
that
The
ridiculous.
only thing terrible about them is that it takes a minute for them to transition.
They look absolutely horrible.
You're just mad at the frames, not the transition.
no, I hate
lenses.
transition. Is there?
It's a little bit of both.
I have never met a guy who's like not the weirdest guy in the room who doesn't wear fucking transition fucking glasses. Every time.
Never sounds like a overreach.
What's that?
Never.
Never. No, always the weirdest guy.
Always,
It's a
never.
betting. The better's odds is weirdest guys wearing the transitions.
All right, we're losing listeners. Let's move on.
It's fine. Now you know how it feels.
After a 5-minute conversation about Ron Rivera's transitional,
They're
lenses.
terrible. Get rid
That's
of
what
them.
people are tuning in for sure.
But I do think there's some buy in Gibson, and I think if you can use these two backs, like maybe they had the idea of using them as we saw this week, don't put so much on Heinicki, don't put so much on anything. Let your two pretty good players here, one guy do one thing, one guy do the other. Gibson looks plenty more explosive, and if you're going to keep him in this role and he's going to keep being productive, then there's no reason to not try to buy him a little bit. Like you said, the public perception of Gibson is certainly down. It's probably not going to garner too much more respect moving forward unless he keeps up what he's doing, which would probably have to be, touchdowns to be really propping his value up for anybody to really take notice and care. But I think there is a little bit of a window here, and I know some people probably won't like that, but I'm okay buying into the talent of Gibson and riding it out.
What are you
for
paying
another
for
year
Gibson
and a
right
half.
now?
I mean,
It's not a good week.
he just
necessarily.
he just had a nice week, and he but I mean, I'm gonna try to get him for
Like a mid 2?
oh, I would definitely pay that. I'll pay the 2 all day long. I thought I'd have to add a little bit of that to there. I mean, yeah, obviously this week maybe somebody's goes week to week here, but I'd definitely be intrigued on what the price tag is for Gibson. If it was a 2, I'm interested.
Sure, I don't even know if you had to pay a 2 for Gibson at this point.
Really?
You can't get him for the 3, but like you probably can like a 3 and another player or something. Like like late 2 ought to do it. I mean, I don't think
Whew. All right.
people fucking hate him.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Now it's not a good week. He just had 16 points.
All right. Where you guys want to go next?
I don't know. You tell me.
All right. Let's
Where
go.
do you want to go next?
I could go a lot of places. I mean, Baltimore
Oh, wait.
seems.
Real quick, let's ask a question. Well, I got one start up here. Half point PPR, 10 teams. Which running back should I try to get from the waivers? Redraft question. A lot of guys on the waiver. James Robinson, Michael Carter, Donta Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, Pacheco, Akers, Henderson. Can you believe it? Henderson? Why should scoop Henderson? Right?
Maybe not the best you can play the 49ers.
Chuba went out with an injury, right?
They said he could have came back if the game would have been closer.
That one's, you dice roll either Foreman or Chuba. You don't know who's. They both look.
I don't want
They
to
both look pretty.
49 Carolina
They
Panthers
both look pretty
guy,
good.
right?
I'm saying it's a dice roll for either one. If one or the other really kind of takes over, then I think there's good opportunity there. Not none of those other guys maybe have the opportunity to run away with a backfield. Akers, no, unless he gets traded. So I mean, if you
But
have
even if
room,
he does get traded, there's not really anywhere where I'm like excited where he goes somewhere.
I mean, probably Henderson out of that group to just pick up and put on the team to potentially get, a lion's share of touches here for a few weeks and see if he can do something with it.
Yeah.
All those guys are such coin flips, man. I mean, Henderson feels like maybe the safest one that, might be able to play
Or
long
Carter.
term.
I'd say Henderson or Carter.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Henderson jumped out the most. Should I try and trade Chase Claypool now? We're waiting until
That'd
the
be a good
deadline
week
with
to
all
do
the
it.
rumors around him. If he goes to a team like Green Bay or the Chiefs, I feel like his value would grow.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and I don't know that you're. It's not like he's going to stop playing, and he hasn't been bad. I mean, Pickett seems to at least be given life to the offense, and there's potential at least games where you can have a Claypool game and still, have people be.
He's still playing nearly all the snaps.
People be very interested in Claypool, so I think you can wait and see. If you do get, like somebody said earlier, when you get the trade, you get the shiny new object kind of syndrome. So that should certainly, I mean, you can't imagine the Packers are going to trade for Claypool, but they do need wide receiver help, and if that happened, that would certainly,
he doesn't seem like Packer material.
electroshock his existence back into coherence. But
he doesn't.
I mean, I think it would take anybody right now to try to beef up that wide receiving core and make Aaron a little happier. But like you said, I don't know if that's necessarily the guy. Probably want somebody a little older, more mature. But
I wouldn't say Claypool's very mature.
No.
I would say he's immature.
I would agree with that statement.
Immature.
Yeah. But if you can get, I don't know. I'm probably just going to hang on to Claypool and see what happens from here and see what.
Because he's been left for dead. It was very dire straits there for a minute. You're like, I'm very out on Claypool. And all of a sudden, a couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
Done a little something.
So I'm probably going to wait, see if there's any trade.
But
they did seem like any of the rumors were that they wanted way too much for Claypool.
Yeah, and they said they weren't going to trade him.
Yeah.
But
So I'll just hang out, see what happens here, see what happens with Kenny Pickett. I think Pickett's playing pretty well. I mean, I don't, the picks and such and the way that game ended, but like there was good periods in that game where it was like, all right, he got this thing rolling and jump started, and he's completing passes. He's throwing the ball with confidence. He's putting it where it's supposed to be. He's moving around.
he certainly adds a little more life than Trubisky did.
Right. And hadn't really, I don't think, acclimated to what's going on. He had a concussion just as he got rolling. He was the backup in training camp. So, I think, moving forward, the best is yet to come with Pickett. Last night, maybe he should have ran instead of throwing that interception into the end zone. But
yeah, that was towards Claypool, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Or maybe
I think it was Deontay.
There was time was a factor for sure, but they probably could have got up and spiked it and then got another playoff, and there was a lot of room in front of him. Not sure why he threw the ball there. He seemed like he wasn't on the same page with the receiver, whoever it was.
I find Baltimore very intriguing.
Do you want to talk about the Steelers since we
if you want to, we certainly can.
are on it? Thoughts on Najee Harris?
What do you got?
I mean, you got to hold on to him. I'm not cutting bait, so
Trading for him?
if someone's panicking, I'd consider it.
If you're on Dynasty Twitter,
People
you
are
probably
panicking.
you probably never had Najee Harris then, because he's the worst on Dynasty Twitter.
I have him on one team, and I'm in a full rebuild, so I'm not trading him.
I mean,
I'd be down to trade for Najee Harris.
It's certainly not the trendy thing to say or do to say that you would trade for him. Did you have something? Okay.
Nay.
No, I mean, what realistically are you trading for Najee? Because he still has a little bit of value insulated.
What for me personally?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're paying at least a first for him.
I would assume that you got to pay the first for him. So
At least the first. I think the first would be the starting point.
yeah. I mean,
And you're probably paying a first plus.
There's a good chance.
Unless you're talking a top 5 first. Top 5.
Yeah, which I don't think you want to do that.
No. Especially in Superflex.
If I feel pretty good about my team, I'd be okay saying I'll give it a whirl. I'll see if I can get the late Najee Harris added to the team.
Sure.
And go into next year, and that basically be my first round pick for next year. I'm okay with that.
Totally on board with that.
Because he doesn't seem like he's been right. He had a preseason injury.
Right.
He injured it again in week 1.
Well, he had a foot injury, and then he had a high ankle, I think.
I thought it was some sort of minor Liz Frank injury.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was the foot.
That was the foot, and then I from what I read through a couple different sources was the foot and then the high ankle to go along with a foot.
They've had a whirl of it. They've had a pretty tough schedule with Cincinnati, New England, Cleveland, New Jersey.
Yeah, now they're playing the Eagles next week.
New Jersey, New York Jets, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, right? Pretty tough schedule for Najee up to this point, and he hasn't been healthy. And the Steelers have been transitioning to a rookie quarterback who didn't play at all in the preseason, or didn't play. Wasn't the one coming into this year. Didn't get the valuable snaps. Figuring it out. Tough schedule for Pickett to come in and figure things out. Like, he got Tampa Bay and then Miami. Miami's defense was geeked up. Miami has a stud cornerback. When healthy, you don't even throw towards his side of the field.
But the rest of the secondary was depleted. But yeah.
Depleted, but they came through. They were playing pretty well.
I mean, Najee having a pretty substantial injury that he was playing through, and then maybe re-injured it again after a couple weeks of rest and whatnot. Really never came off the field, kind of grinded it out. And then you have a guy who's not necessarily the most explosive player to begin with. Yeah. I think all of those things kind of compound into the start that you've seen.
And then add a not great offensive line,
right?
Too.
And then you add a not great offensive line, like Jason said, and the rookie quarterback who hasn't been really integrated in what's going on. He's not, obviously you like all the checkdowns that Ben were getting, but I mean, this game at least you did see, I think 4 targets,
4 targets, 3 catches.
So you get
15 yards.
If Najee could get 4 targets and 17 attempts a game, is that what he had? Like, I'm fine with that. I think that'll turn around. The touchdowns haven't been there this season, and I know nobody likes him, and he's not explosive, and he's a bust, and yada yada yada. And I want to dive deeper into this. I want to spend a lot more time really going back and dissecting a lot of things, and really going back to last year and reading about what's going on with this year. I haven't necessarily had the time yet, which is why we haven't really talked all that much Najee Harris, because I do want to actually get a full scope of what's going on. But I do think he's a good player. Like, I mean,
yeah,
he might not be the most explosive player in the league, and I'm sure you can find stats to say that he stinks, but you can also find stats to say that he's good.
74 receptions last year on 94 targets. That's a pretty good stat. We did talk about him in the offseason and go to bat for him, and I watched a lot of tape of him last year, and this man's phenomenal. He to be his size, he shouldn't be able to move the way that he moves, and then also have these ridiculous receiving chops to go with it. He's just playing a little banged up. The Steelers are probably in a worse position they've been in a long time. The offensive line's not great. Like, nothing. The tough schedule, rookie quarterback, transition, like, all these things are working against him. So it hasn't panned out for you in your lineup for him. This is the time when you buy the fucking guy. Like, that's how you play the game. You buy the guy when he's low, who is good at football. Like, he is a talented fucking guy. He can move. He can catch. He can handle the workload.
Right.
He's a little banged up.
Even like, in this past game, like, just constantly since he's been in the Steelers organization, every time he touches the ball, there's 3 guys in the backfield, and it's similar to David Montgomery a little bit, who we're watching right now. Is just he never lets the first guy really bring him down, and he's always shifting around and thwarting guys off of him and spinning around, and Najee does have the good hands, sort of like Montgomery. So no, I agree. I think there is a buy here. I know nobody's going to like that. A lot of hate mail on that one.
We're already getting some. Jared said he's not a difference maker.
Yeah, okay.
I disagree. It's pretty much the whole offense last year.
I disagree as well, and we're just, it's not working right now. And I do think that him being banged up is a big portion of this, and then all those other factors, like we said, kind
There's
of
so
go
much
into
context that goes into it, and I feel like Dynasty Twitter doesn't want him to be good. They're mad at him because he doesn't have the explosive plays. There's runs over 20 yards and all this stuff. Like, they were right there. They were right there. Like, he hurdles a guy and has speed, and then he caught 74 balls. Like, isn't that everything you ever wanted and more?
It's just sometimes it doesn't fit.
You know,
he's Trent Richardson right now because it's easy to say.
Sure.
And then Jalen Warren's in there, and when Jalen Warren's in there, he looks explosive and does his thing. We've talked about this. Like, I have a theory that nobody gives a fuck that Jalen Warren's in the game.
Right.
So they're like, all right, Najee's not in the game. Jalen Warren's in the game. Cool. Like, how many times do you watch Jalen Warren get the ball and there's nobody fucking around him? Like, a lot. A lot of the times I see him get the ball, it's right there. Now, Jalen Warren's decent pass protectors look pretty good. And I'm not saying Jalen Warren's a bad player.
Not a knock on Jalen Warren.
And Jalen Warren they shouldn't just lean on one back. How many teams lean on one back? They should have another guy that they can rely on.
Yeah.
But Jalen Warren shouldn't be anywhere near supplanting Najee Harris. Najee Harris is very good. And like you said, I think on a team where I felt I was really strong, I'd be fine with sending the first for Najee Harris and, seeing what could happen. Like,
totally agree.
Brian, would you trade B-Rob in a first?
B-Rob and a first?
You probably could get a 2 back.
Like, I might try to give you B-Rob in a second to get Najee to start the conversation off.
I feel better about that.
Just because I know people are hating on him, and at least B-Rob still's got a little love to his game, to his name.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great starting
I'll do the
point.
first.
It's a great starting point. B-Rob in a second.
Anything else on Najee Harris?
I'm staying patient with Najee.
Yeah, agreed.
My man's a stud.
Agreed.
Stud breed.
On it. I think Raheem Moestert could be a nice little cheap buy if you're looking for a cheap running back to start.
You might be a good sell. He's been
you could sell him if your team stinks, but if your team's decent and you're looking for running back help and you're not trying to break the bank, I think he's clearly taken over here, and he knows exactly how to run the system. He looks great in the system. Those runs that he was maneuvering through last night looked exactly like it did in San Francisco. He's got a ton of burst to his game still. He's older, but I mean, he could really help carry you into the playoffs here.
He's susceptible to get injured on any
for sure. I mean, 100%. But
he's banged up a lot.
100%. But nobody's telling you to buy him for anything expensive, right? Sometimes it's nice to just add depth players that could really help you out and start some weeks when you don't like the matchup or you get banged up or he's a little banged up. And yeah, certainly he hasn't been the most healthy and he's old. But this system is built for him and he knows how to run it. And it came in and we were all, semi excited about Chase Edmonds, but you thought, this is going to be mucky. And it's basically turning into not being all that mucky and Raheem being the guy who looks fucking stellar behind this offensive unit. So I think there's some cheap Raheem Moestert in there. That's what it is. Like, you come on this show and I could do sell and buy on just about any guy. So you could certainly sell him if your team's not very good and you want to get rid of him. But I mean, I'm fine with buying him to try to help me, get some depth for a running back position that's super fucking fragile and hard to come by right now. And a guy who seems very comfortable in the situation that he's in. And Tua missed some time. This offense should just continue to be. Tua was looking very comfortable before the concussion. Lost a little momentum there. They were a little stale in the second half after they got out of the scripted, and Moestert was right there to lean on a little bit. So I think moving forward, I think, as teams do, as it gets later in the season, running game becomes more and more important. And I think Moestert, if healthy, could be a big part of that. So I kind of like that. I wanted to hit the Ravens, Cleveland real quick. Like, Ravens are so weird, man. Like,
yeah,
it just seems like I don't know what's going on there right now. Like, Lamar's just going
13 pass attempts
down. It doesn't look good. Seems like something's off, right? I mean, I've been watching the last couple of Ravens games. They usually find a way to give it away. This is a division battle. They won, but
didn't look good.
Didn't look good.
It was weird that, like, Lamar has forever in the pocket. Like they're not rushing that many. They're just like,
Dropping back.
we're gonna drop back. We're gonna spy you. We're gonna make you beat us through the air, and he hasn't been doing it. Now,
Right.
Bateman was pretty close to having a much bigger day. I think Bateman's a good
Right.
buy candidate if you're a Bateman guy. If you like Bateman, he almost
Got me in that camp.
He almost had a touchdown. It probably should have been.
What's the allure for the buy of Bateman?
I think he's a good player.
just a talent?
Yeah, I think he can do it all.
It's certainly not more. What is it? 20 pass attempts? Was it like 20 routes
13.
ran?
There was only 13. Yeah, 21 routes ran. Bateman ran 15 of them.
That's the lack of allure there. 21.
I think
attempts.
that's
There's like a handful of teams in this league that do not want to throw the ball. It's wild.
I think Bateman can do it all.
It seems like this is like going to be a very consistent stat line for Bateman, unless he catches a big one and scores a touchdown. It's 4 for 42, and it's not indicative of Bateman's talent.
I think that's the whole thing. I think is that I just believe in Bateman as a player.
I do too. But I mean, this was the game. You had Mark Andrews goose egged.
Yeah,
This should have been
crazy.
if somebody else if it's time to take over, and I realize Bateman missed some time here and it just came back. But like you would like to see in this scenario for him to really take over, and it's not necessarily fair. Like I said, coming back from missing some time there.
I mean, he had a huge target share.
Yeah, fair.
Check spreadsheet. He must be good.
Huge target share.
5 of 13.
5 of 13. That's strong. But
What's the target share of?
So what-
Let me get some
what are you willing to buy Bateman for?
J-Rob? B-Rob? B-Rob?
I'm taking Bateman over B-Rob.
He's a running back. It's hard to find them RBs. Getting 21 carries versus 21 pass attempts for the whole fucking team.
13 pass attempts. That's
Routes
what-
ran, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right.
So 8 of them he just took off.
Ran. Which, who knows? Was it not an intentional run? That's why they counted it as a pass route. I don't know. These routes run and route participation is a little subjective.
A bit.
I like the talent. I'm a little worried about where the Ravens are, where we're going. Lamar doesn't look particularly sharp, but I mean, we could turn this around. It does seem like we're back to, I feel like Lamar wasn't good when you blitzed him for a while, and then now it's like, hey, let's just kind of sit back, give him some time, let him run around, but we're not going to give him the big play necessarily running, and we're going to make him kind of find a spot to beat us, which, gave Patrick Mahomes trouble there for a little while, where they kind of just
sat back.
So it's not fixable.
And the Bengals offense just murdered them boys.
It's not fixable, and it's I also I think Greg Roman's shit gets super stale.
Yeah, I think that could be part of the problem as well too.
Left them puffs out. Got them some stale puffs in the cupboard. 2-year-old still eats it, but
Not about
no
that.
one else likes it.
No one wants that old pirate booty.
Yeah.
Zappy. Mac Jones back in after this week?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know what's been going on this Monday night game. Looked up and the Bears are up by 21 points.
Bill
Didn't
Belichick's
see
going to have
that.
to wait one more week for his
19.
George Halas tying win.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Batted down by not Ashawn Robinson.
All right, so
some
draft
Robinson.
pick wise, what are you paying for Bateman?
I'm okay giving the 2.
I think I'm for sure okay giving a 2 for Bateman. Take
What
my
are we
money.
doing here?
Yeah.
Well, I guess every single player in the
I don't
23
think
classes in the Hall of Fame, but yeah.
I don't think you need to pay a 1 for him.
Okay. Did you pay 2 2s for him?
Would I pay a 2-2 for him?
Definitely pay a 2-2 Atwell.
Oh, several 2-2 Atwells.
However many you need. How many 2-2 outbills make a fucking 10
I'm taking St. Brown instead of Mike Evans over there, PJ.
for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Just going off script.
Is that
Yeah.
Equanimous?
It was a lull, so I just looked over
Is
there.
that
So-
No. Saint. It says Amon-Ra, but Amon-Ra is the St. Brown.
Yeah.
Fuck Equanimous.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll do 2-2s.
All right, there we go. Spice
He
factor. What are
loves
you
the Bateman.
doing for the Bateman?
I don't think I want 2-2s.
You don't want anything to do with Bateman?
No. I didn't say that. I don't know about the 2-2s.
Would you give up Brian Robinson for Bateman?
I guess.
With conviction.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You'd give up Brian Robinson
Easily.
for Bateman?
It's tough to get with the RB getting 20 carries.
I think I would. I'm still a little on the fence with him. Like I like the fact I like the volume of carries that he's getting. He's just coming back from getting shot. I mean, not that it's funny.
I got
but,
shot 9 times.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it's right now I would say yes. I would make that deal, but like I feel like I want to give it a little bit more.
Let it marinate.
A little bit more time. I would certainly trade James Robinson for Bateman, but Bateman's an interesting one, man. I feel like I was pretty hot and heavy on him, and now I feel like I've definitely cooled to lukewarm. I just
Herbert looks good.
like to look at some more efficiency stats and advanced metrics on what Bateman and the usage has been like as in comparison to what like kind of Hollywood was seeing when he was there. Because it doesn't seem like it's necessarily the same.
It seems like the Ravens offense as a whole has regressed a bit.
Yeah. It's pretty much only Mark Andrews and Bus. So but like Jason said about Najee, if you're believing in the talent, this is the time to fly in on Bateman. So if you're in on Bateman, you send some offers for the 2-2s or Brian Robinson or who else would you trade? Anybody got any good deals for?
Would have been nice
for
to
Bateman?
ask.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can find if I've seen
Marquise Brown?
Oh, give me Hollywood all day.
He's going to come back.
Who?
Baby, come
Marquise and help you out in the playoffs.
Oh, you're just talking about redraft?
No.
Give me Hollywood.
I guess that was too easy.
How about like an older player like Mike Evans for Bateman in a 2?
That might be a return you could get on Mike Evans. Nobody wants to fuck with Mike Evans ever.
So Superflex, Jimmy G, David Bell, and a 2023 third for Bateman.
That seems like a bunch of. I mean, I like David Bell, but
here's one.
he's
How
not
about
holding any value right
Bateman straight up for Dalvin Cook a week ago? Not even a week ago.
now? That seems like I need
was on
I need a
Friday.
2 from the Bateman side.
I need
That was on
more for
Friday.
Dalvin Cook. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm giving you Dalvin Cook, I need more than Bateman.
Wow, this is a spicy one. Bateman for Van Jefferson and a first.
So first for
So first.
Yeah. All right, Tyler Lockett or Bateman. I think that's pretty easy. I think
I
it's
can
still-
move off Lockett
Yeah.
right now for
Yeah.
Bateman.
boy, it's if you're winning, it's tough to move off a Lockett though right now
Any
because the
Seahawk.
points that are being generated. From
Here's
Tyler
one. Here's
Lockett.
one somebody's really
That
regretting.
you probably should.
Middle of last week, Josh Jacobs for Bateman straight up.
That's Jacobs all day.
Ain't no way, man.
All day. All right. Just before we leave, anybody got anything else? I want to just
Got to take a couple of thick, dense, girthy victory laps, right?
I mean, might as well. I mean, Damian Pierce, you still out on him?
Watching the game.
Did he catch 4 balls?
Yeah.
think
I
he
mean,
caught
Rex
four
Burkhead
targets.
still caught more balls than he did, though, or got more targets.
He caught 4 of 4. Is that good?
4 of 4.
Is that good?
Rex
fine.
Rex still
What's the target share?
6 for 5 and 11 for Rex. Damian Pierce 4 for 4 for 25.
What's the target
coming.
share,
And then,
though?
you know,
Check spreadsheet.
Dare did get some check downs there at the.
Oh, Dare was draining me at the end.
Ogunbowale.
Yeah, got some check downs there at the end. Big gainer. But
No, the other Dare.
I don't even think it's Dare. It's probably
Dare.
Dare. Yeah. But Damian Pierce 20 carries again, 92 yards. Obviously didn't get in the end zone.
Obviously didn't get the end zone.
Yeah, we would be way more excited if he did. But you know, the Texans were moving the ball early and then kind of came to a halt, and then the Raiders came to life a little bit there. Still, you know, not great from Derek Carr. I mean, good 21 of 27, 241 yards, but one passing touchdown. It's been the Josh Jacobs show, but it's been equating to wins, so you can't really complain necessarily.
Sure.
Damian Pierce, though, Are you, in seriousness, are you still out, or you?
I wouldn't say I'm actively trying to buy. I mean, because the price on Pierce is too higher than I want to pay. So I'm not going to pay a mid first for Pierce. It's probably what his value is right now.
So still out on the first for Pierce.
I just feel I feel like there's players that are coming out next year that I feel have more upside than Pierce. That's been my stance, and that's just
I disagree.
That's fine.
I don't necessarily disagree with the statement. I'm just disagreeing with that. I see a guy playing in the league right now who I know can win in the league and looks like he has
shot out of a cannon.
Look like he has plenty of upside himself.
Cannon.
So
he looks shot out of a cannon.
Would be my only rebuttal for that. And can catch. So nothing really to worry about there.
He caught 4 balls.
Yeah.
Of 4 targets.
Seahawks, Chargers. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers. They're terrible.
Feel that.
So,
baby.
but we talked Kenneth Walker rookie report last week. Said 2 firsts for Kenny. You said no. So you're still not willing to pay that price?
I mean, if they're too late first, sure.
Yeah. I'll give you any 2 firsts you want, unless it was the 1-1, which who knows whose that is. But I guess you got the sunk cost of what you paid for him, which was a first. So even coming into this
top
week,
5 pick.
Yeah, he was a top 5, top 2.
If it
top
wasn't
3,
a
top
Dynasty
4 pick.
Twitter league, it was a top
2 or 3
pick.
And so it's like coming into this week when I was saying 2 ones, nobody's going to come off of a guy who just was getting the lion's share of the carries coming into there for anything less than probably another 1 to start that week, because you already paid a 1 for him, and he's looking like he's about to outperform that and get a ton of run for the rest of the season. So it's like was kind of the value where I was going, and now it's absolutely cemented there for sure. I've tried so many times where I don't have Kenneth Walker to acquire Kenneth Walker for the last 3 weeks, and the trade has gone up and up and up, and I've not gotten a single Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I can imagine not.
So, but the Kenneth Walker haters out there, suck it. I love when that happens. Feels good. Not looking at you, Matt. I don't think you were necessarily a hater. Think you like Kenneth Walker for the most part.
Yeah.
He does not like.
I hate him. I hate him. Almost.
Wait, no. We're on a Kenneth Walker. Sorry, I thought we were back on Damian Pierce still. My bad. Doesn't hate Kenneth Walker. Just doesn't love him.
Yeah. I'm in love with Kenny.
Yeah. I love not like. I'm taking him to a fucking dashboard confessionals concert.
It's just one confessional.
Give me him and all 3 of his
multiple
sticks.
Confessionals. That's just one confessional.
Dashboard confessionals.
No, it's just confessional.
Dashboard's confessional.
Yes, nailed it.
It's the dashboard's confessional.
I just like to add an apostrophe.
All right, that's really all I got. I just wanted to really touch on that Kenneth Walker's fucking awesome. Suck it, Peter Howard. You're the worst. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Not the best.
I like Peter.
You're allowed to. I mean, I think he's fine.
You just said he was. Yeah, you just said he was the worst.
He's not great on Twitter.
You say people are the worst all the time, and
I have to watch the worst.
I have to watch the worst with my 3-year-old because she takes it very literal, and I'm like, just right now, you're the worst. Like.
Oh, like that one time when Chili called Bingo, she was called her cheeky.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm talking about.
We use cheeky a lot.
Or like in season 3 when
they do season 3.
What?
What's your problem? I've seen it like
my
5
kid won't
times
fucking
already.
watch it all of a sudden.
I've seen it like 5 times already.
Fucking Bluey.
I don't know what the problem is.
What are you talking about, Jason?
When they do where Bluey. They do 2 bingos and 2 Blueys.
Mini bingo. Yeah,
they have 2 bingos and Bluey's having to act like Bingo, and like Bingo likes to listen and likes to help. And
I am annoying.
The Bandit was like, I could get used to this. 2 bingos, and then Bluey got real upset. She was like, they like you. They want all the bingos and no Blueys because you're not annoying and you listen.
I am annoying. Gets tape tied up, big teeth in. It's a great episode. All great episodes.
We're peaking right now with viewers, and we're talking about a 3-year-old kids show. So how about
it was
that?
The Suckets. That's what it was.
Let's get in a couple questions. Let's
All right.
let's drill them out here. Should I trade Tua and Lockett for Higgins? I have Mahomes at QB already. That must be a 1 QB trade. Go for it. I don't want to hear about 1 QB trade questions, right? Like,
I mean, you could. I mean, it's fine to try to find that big upgrade in
he has
QB1 if it's going to
Mahomes,
be fairly cheap.
so trade Tua and Lockett for T Higgins. Sure.
Yeah, I
See ya.
would have made that move already.
Gotta tell me if it's super flex.
If
or
it's not super, if it's super flex, I'm still probably doing that deal.
Yeah.
If
I got enough
guess.
quarterbacks.
Yeah. He would have listed another quarterback that he had. All right. Would you trade a late second and Curtis Samuel for Rashod Bateman?
Zappy just threw another one.
Another pick?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know how. Did he just hurt his
Mac
Achilles?
Jones
How did he
only
not
threw
take it
one.
to the house?
Would you
Throwing
trade?
pretty fast.
Got a trade question here for Rashod Bateman. We talked about him earlier. Let's bring this back around. Would you trade a late second and Curtis Samuel
Yes.
for Batman?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
That's
equivalent of 2 2s there, I guess.
I'd say a second and a third.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Has DJ Moore surpassed a can of beans? Man, fuck DJ Moore. This one's for me. Big Smooth. Shout out to Big Smooth. I mean, nah, man. Fuck DJ Moore. For real. I ain't even joking around.
The answer to that question is yes, by the way.
Yeah.
It's now a can of corn.
Since the beans talk, I have traded for DJ Moore. So
I started
DJ.
I started DJ Moore. I mean, granted, you guys did too. So
Yeah. Let's go DJ.
We had to. We had to start DJ.
Shipper.
let's go, DJ.
I have Hill. It must be Tyreek. Deontay Pickens at wide receiver. I'm looking to package Hill to improve those 3 positions. Any idea on who to target? Why would you trade Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I'd probably move off one of the Pittsburgh. I'd try to what's that word I'm trying to think
all right?
of? No, it's
Transition.
late. No, not transition.
Package up.
no.
Move off.
Shut up. Trying to diversify off my Steelers wide receivers there. I'd be
I don't
moving
hate it.
Deontay and
I don't hate having Pickens and Deontay.
I'm okay with diversifying if you want.
yeah.
Like, if you had transition lenses, get rid of those first.
I like that last question, by the way. I can answer that one.
What would you look to get for Javonte Williams?
Yeah, I just traded for him like a week ago.
We also did talk an extensive amount of Javonte Williams. What was it, last week's
I don't remember.
show or 2 weeks ago? Whenever
Yeah.
he got hurt, we talked about him.
Yeah. I mean, granted, this trade looks bad going back on it, but I traded Jacobs and Evans for Javonte and a first.
Jacobs and Mike Evans
Mm-hmm.
for Javonte and a first
Mm-hmm.
in a rebuild.
Yes, full rebuild.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fine.
probably the same trade you could get this week. I mean, that's someone putting respect on Jacobs' name.
To
And he
answer
got what
that
he paid
question,
for.
I think what you're kind of doing there is I would be looking for at least a first and then another good player, such as Javonte, Josh Jacobs and a first for Javonte would be something that I would be willing to maybe have a conversation about.
And if you're in a rebuild, you're just holding Javonte.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And if you're trying to compete and win and move off Javonte, then you go try and get a player plus a pick, I guess. Mostly you're trading for Javonte. You're not trying to trade away Javonte. You can't. It's not a good time to trade Javonte away. If you have Javonte, you got to fucking eat him. But I guess if you're really trying to compete,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I'd be if you're selling Javonte, that would be what you would be, you'd be trying to compete, I guess.
Yeah,
If
but
I'm-
then why else would you be selling
Right.
him?
If I'm
Yeah.
buying Javonte, I'm buying him off of a competitive team that probably wants to buy. That's a move I like to make when I'm rebuilding is go after the competitive team who just lost a good running back.
Yep.
Get that running back from them, and a pick and something else, and then give them somebody who they can start.
Yep.
Who I don't necessarily want, like Dalvin Cook,
Last one, Judy or Bateman?
Judy.
Would you be trying to trade for Judy right now?
Well, Judy wants out, or they want to trade. They want to trade Judy.
They want to trade Judy? Is that why they showcased him with
Seems like they want to trade
10 or 11 targets this past week?
That's the news. Is Judy is on the block. not vibing with Russ and the coaching staff.
Does
and
anyone
such.
vibe with Russ?
I don't know. I think it's more or less that maybe Judy's a bit of a knucklehead and a little immature. So
knucklehead.
And Russ is
Russell
knucklehead.
Russ
Yeah,
is-
but and Russ is just too mature.
Russ is the fucking.
I don't know.
worst.
Yeah.
Mature.
I thought it was funny. I saw a clip that I think was on the Pat McAfee podcast. They were talking about how it was Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman talking, and they were like, you couldn't just talk to Russ. You had to go through his people.
Yeah.
And McAfee was like, I played with fucking Peyton Manning before, and I could just hit up Peyton Manning by calling him. Like,
Right.
that shit's not gonna fly.
Yeah. I mean, that's always
Get
been
off your high horse.
I've always respected Russell's game, but I've always known that it's just like
He did a pregame interview next to his yacht pad. He didn't have the yacht there, but it was on the dock for his yacht.
There's just no way.
He wanted you to know he had a yacht.
There's no way real dudes fuck with him. Like that's
No.
that's always been my stance on him. That's
No,
always
he's
been
fucking
like
corny as hell.
Yeah, like he
Trading for Judy?
doesn't even wear glasses, and he has transition glasses.
He's a transition soul.
Yeah.
You
What
want
else
some
you got?
Judy?
Do I want some Judy?
Yeah.
I'll buy low on some Judy.
I would take a little Judy. I'd also be fine with selling a little Judy. I'm kind of go either way there. Depends on the price.
He's by Judius.
Not a first.
I'm not giving away a first right now for Judy. No way.
2 twos?
Probably not. Depends on where my team is, but no. I mean,
you're not giving you're giving the 2 twos for Bateman? Not the 2 twos for Bateman, because you'd rather have Judy than Bateman.
I'd rather have.
I'd give away the 2 twos for Judy.
I'd be okay.
I said I'd do it for Bateman.
I'd be okay with the 2 twos for Judy, but probably not for Bateman.
I said I'd do it for Bateman, and I said Judy for Bateman.
I think if Bateman was in Denver, I would absolutely be giving you the 2 twos for Bateman.
I think if Bateman was anywhere else,
Jahan Dotson or Judy?
Judy.
Treylon Burks or Judy?
I want to just say Burks, but I mean, I know that's not going to be the right answer.
Yeah.
But maybe Judy's just never going to be quite as good as I thought he would be, or I want him to be. So maybe these
Still
are all the
pretty
wrong
young.
answers. And he has flashed. It's just been some banged upness, and whatever's going on in Denver stinks. So
Gabe Davis or Judy?
I'll take Davis.
I'll still take.
My son Gabriel.
Probably should take Gabe, but I think I'm sticking with Judy. But that might just be stupid take lock.
Yeah.
Last one, Brandon Ayuk or Judy?
Judy.
That fast. My man over here wearing a 49er colored T-shirt.
I think Ayuk's
He's
great.
a 49ers fan.
I think Ayuk's great, but I
Thought
mean,
it was
it's
a 49ers
It's just
shirt,
gonna
but-
be. It's just gonna be tough sledding
Yeah.
for. I don't know who's gonna be. I think week after week, it's gonna be really hard to be which Niner is gonna be the guy who is especially with Christian McCaffrey there now. Like, I feel like it's gonna be really hard to be like which
Yeah.
guy's gonna get the touchdowns and the love and the usage that's good. I think Ayuk could be a phenomenal player on a different team, like a really high point. Like I think he's a really, really good player. But I don't know how it's going to work out here without having a quarterback like the Mahomes or the Josh Allens of the world to be able to facilitate that many good pieces on offense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did it.
We
made
did
it to
it.
the end, and guess what? I'm gonna give away some T-shirts. I did the drawing.
Nobody's listening for this.
I did the random generated number. Well, yeah, it's a caveat. You gotta.
Did you tell them you were going to do it at the end?
You didn't bring it up, Mr. Host. You didn't talk about the T-shirts at fucking all. You didn't ask them to like, subscribe. You didn't do any of that shit.
You're watching on a live stream. It's fine.
Well, this goes out on the podcast every week.
Honestly, I really think the like and subscribe thing is pretty dumb. Like, if you're gonna like it, like I don't think me telling you to do it's never ever worked on me. I've never been like, oh yeah, you know what? I will like and subscribe. Like, if I fucking like it, I subscribe to it.
How many things are you subscribed to?
On my own stuff.
Probably very particular on your
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because on my YouTube, I'm watching woodworking stuff. That's like pretty much all I'm watching on my own personal YouTube
Big booty
channel.
bitches.
That's Instagram.
A lot of Bob Vilo in there.
I don't know. There's like some swimsuit shit that keeps popping up on.
I
Our
thought
FF
that was
Dynasty.
you.
I thought that was you.
I don't even use our FF Dynasty. I just look at every once in a while I'll look up a woodworking thing and be like, ah, damn, I'm on the FF Dynasty.
Sometimes I look up editing things and I'm on the FF Dynasty. You know who's looking at the? I mean, I'll hover over it. If you hover over it, it plays.
I would tell you if I was, but I'm not. I mean, I got porn on my phone. I can watch.
You need a burner phone. That's why this is what porn does to your phone. Kids.
Yeah. The sins add up and it cracks the screen.
Anyway, all right, I'm going to pick 2 winners for the T-shirt contest. Craig Stewart. I already picked them. I did the random generated number. I found them. I'm going to give away 2 because I fucking been slacking my ass off on it. Craig Stewart. Stop sliding down the banister.
Hey, look what I can do. Let me show you something.
Craig Stewart and Levi. How do you pronounce it?
Oh, that's
Hayerly.
my danger zone.
Hayerly.
Hayerly. And Peter Howard.
Yeah, you can get.
Come
a
on
free
down.
T-shirt for sure, Peter.
Give me your address. Send you a shirt.
He lives in Kentucky.
Send me your address. I'll send him a shirt.
Matt
I trust
Foreman knows a
I
weird
trust
amount.
no man who has their own Twitter thing and then has a non-picture of a human being on there. It's weird. Do you
If
have
it's another
what do you-
human being,
That's fine.
it's fine. If it's another human being,
if it's another human being who's like related to you
I
or
love
has
how
a
you
special
s-
meaning
I love
to
how
you.
you said that after asking what was it, what not
Well,
knowing what was in my
I
picture.
have no idea what's in your picture.
It's me and Parker.
Okay.
for a while it was another human being, and then like a lot, like you brought up Rich Rebard. He's got Zach.
Yeah, I don't like that.
but that's another human being.
I mean, I followed up with like special to you or meaning something to
Yeah,
you.
that
Like,
guy who I had in my picture has killed himself. So thanks.
yeah, buzzkill.
I didn't say it was negative or positive, or was I going to bring that up? I'm just saying it was a fact. You had another human being in your profile picture.
I don't like Zach Morris being on somebody's profile picture. I don't like.
It wasn't another famous human being. It was an homage.
Maybe if you want to go for a couple days with a funny avatar of something else, but I mean, get outta
You know, I
here.
really hate is the cartoon picture of yourself.
Yeah, I also dislike the avatar.
The Bitmoji.
Yeah, strong dislike.
All right, let's get out of here.
Anyway,
You can leave whenever you want, pal.
yeah.
Yeah, for real though. Let's get the fuck out
Hey,
of here.
appreciate everyone for joining us. Craig Stewart, Levi Hayerly, hit me up. I'm gonna send you a free T-shirt. You won the contest. Thanks for the reviews. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll give away another one. I'm gonna keep doing it. Just hit me with a 5-star review. iTunes, Spotify, those two primarily. If you find another place to give me a 5-star review, send it to me. I'll sign you up. Send me multiple reviews. I'll sign you up multiple times. I think my boy Craig had multiple entries. That's how he won. You know, got to get the odds up.
Go Phillies.
If you're on the podcast, or if you're on the YouTube, let me get a subscription. You know, I'm gonna ask you for it. Now you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I think I will subscribe and like it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna do it. I'm
leave
in
a
now.
comment. You know, leave
I'm
a
glad I heard the
comment.
ding and the thing came up. I'm gonna do
We
it.
got a cool graphic that makes me want to do it.
They told me to.
4th time I hit the end music button. Hey, for real though, thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah.
I think we hit our peak. This
Keep-
week. It keeps
Keep
growing.
you guys keep
Keep it on.
you keep skipping elite college players off of college target share. I'm out.
Peace.